Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops, they find to these Urkels that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at. No cap if the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeant is with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offer the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty, man, back with another one. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the parents on spring break, including myself, because I am currently on spring break with my kids. They are here. All of them jokers. All of them. All right, so, yeah, it's going down here at the Sky household, but prayers to all you parents on spring break, making it work, making it shake, making it do what it do, but watch my shoes, all right? Now, listen. Oh, today... I think today could be spicy. I think today's show could be a little spicy. You know what I'm saying? You got to stick with me to watch the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? The good stuff going to come at the end. You know how it is. But I think this is a good enough show. Oh, it's going to get a little spicy. That world in the street. Little hit a little different. Hit a little different. But I got a new segment that I've started. You're going to love it. All right, but first I got to pay some bills. Listen,
Again, Monday, May 5th. It is right around the corner. Trust me when I tell you, May will be here in a heartbeat. The Tubman African American Museum Golf Tournament, partnered with the Alabama State men's and women's golf team, will be having an event at the Crystal Lake Golf and Country Club in Hampton, Georgia, Monday, May 5th. Cinco de Mayo, okay? Listen, registrations, foursomes, if that's what you're into, okay? $500, individual $150. Listen, you can register at www.tubmangolf.org. That is tubmangolf.org. All right. Listen, want to be in attendance, want to be a part of this, man. It's a great event. Shout out to the Tubman Museum for putting this on, and shout out to Alabama State men's and women's golf team as well. Now, I know y'all like, Scotty, what's the new segment, right? And the new segment got some music too. Y'all remember FAMU finishes? FAMU, y'all remember that? Good times. Shout out to my brother Kofi. Rest in peace, right? But I got a new one. Vic still on that shit. Oh, that's my new segment. Vic still on that shit. It's that dumb shit I be talking about every single time. Jesus freaking Christ. Hit him with it again, Scotty. He's still on that shit. He's still on that shit. And it kills me. It kills me. So anytime you see Vic out and about with his regular shit on, that's part of Vic still on that shit. And again, he's still on that shit. Every time he be out and about, the Bama don't ever wear no Norfolk State gear. Oh my God. Oh my God. He don't never. And this was just posted today. Literally was just posted today. Here's the video.
You be golfing? You be in Atlanta? No. Well, you got a team now, so it'll be hard.
What'd he say? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little early. Let me warm it up. Let me let it warm it up. I gotta let y'all hear.
You be golfing? You be in Atlanta? No. Well, you got a team now, so it'll be hard.
You got a team now. See? Even Michael, you got a team now. You got a team now. What team? What team, Vic? You don't ever wear no team gear. You don't ever wear no team gear. And people like, Scotty, you back on the topic? The Bama's back in the new. This was on the, listen, I need y'all to listen to me. This was on the Atlanta Falcons Instagram. Again, I keep trying to tell y'all, this shit I don't go looking for it. It comes to me. I don't go looking for this. I don't be stalking Vic. I already know Vic don't be wearing nothing. I already know Vic don't be repping Norfolk like that. This was on go to the Atlanta Falcons Instagram. It's the first post on the Atlanta Falcons Instagram. I ain't gotta lie.
Come on, though, man. Mm-hmm. They dreaming like we dream. Yeah. We'll start playing golf. You gonna mess around with it? I just started. Oh man, I gotta get a coach. Bro, you gonna love it. Love it. Mr. Blank used to try to get me to play all the time when I was young. And play with him. In 1 year.
The rest of it don't matter. My point is, and my point will continue to be, is somebody in Norfolk State. I don't listen the same way I felt about Dion. I don't give two shits that is Deion Sanders, and I don't give a two shits that is Michael Vick. Like, I don't care. Like, somebody has got to have a conversation with Michael Vick and say, hey, Brody, you have to start wearing Norfolk State merchandise. Just get a hat. We don't need you. Listen, you can still wear your YN gear that you have all grayed out. You can still wear all that. Just get a hat. Just get a hat. Just rock the like even can I say, and I hate to keep comparison. Listen, Coach D-Jack has a hat in Norfolk, in Delaware State colors. It says Coach Jack. It don't say Delaware State on it, but it's in the Delaware State red. It says Coach Jack. Why not get a hat and say Coach Vic 7 in Norfolk colors? Jay, goddamn. So again, when you see this segment, Vic still on that shit. Just tell it. When you see this segment, Vic still on that shit. And listen. I know no folks, they ain't got no money like that. But I'm telling you this, I'm this close. When I tell you I'm this close to being like, you know what? Let's just cut ties. And I know everybody's like gasping right now, like, bro, if you don't want to rock the gear, if you don't want to represent for the institution, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's just a bad look. I'm sorry. Like, and you guys can say, Scotty, you're over. No, I'm not. Any other football coach in America, in the great state of the United States of America, would be wearing their merchandise. Except Vic. So no, it is not a situation to where you're like, oh, Scotty, listen, Vic is the black sheep amongst white. You're like, hey, why he gotta be different? Why he gotta be different? So I'm telling you, and listen, real spill, holy feel. The only way this goes away is if you win. That's it. That is it. It's the only way you get away with it is if you win. And you better win big. I'm not talking about no 3 games beating. It's either got to be a Celebration Bowl first-year appearance or you're beating some white schools. Other than that, you're going to hear this shit all year. It's just going to pile on. It's going to pile on. And I'm telling you right now, right here, right now, it is feeling like Norfolk State should cut ties. Like, for real. Because it's like, bro, you do not care. You don't care. That's what it feels like. You don't care. And if you don't care, that's cool. Go do something else. But this ain't the job description. I'm sorry, guys. And I'm not going to be on this too long. I'm going to move forward. The only reason you got the damn job is because you're Michael Vick. That's it. And you're not even using the Michael Vick to the school's benefit. That is my issue. They're not cashing any exposure coins on you. At least Jackson State was getting a debit card of money with exposure. Michael Vick is not doing that for Norfolk. So what are you benefiting for? What benefit is Michael Vick at Norfolk if he's not swiping the exposure money, if he's not spending exposure coins? What are you here for? That's my issue. And you're going everywhere and wearing no gear. You're going to major celebrity events and not representing the school that you're coaching, that you're the head coach at. And I'm going to say this, and I will stand on it. I promise the freaking God, if it was Virginia Tech, he would have VT merch all the time. All the time. You couldn't tell me no different. You couldn't tell me no different. So, again, the new segment. Vic still on that shit. Moving on. And again, this has not, listen, I want to see Michael Vick succeed. I want to see celebrity hires succeed because that's going to keep a trend going. But I'm telling you right now, Michael Vick is like a precursor of just like full steam stop. Like, he would scare me. If I was an AD looking to make a hire, I would be like, are you gonna do me like Michael Vick did Norfolk State? Because I'm not about to pay you $400,000 and you can't even put my school merchandise on. And that's real deal Holyfield. Michael Vick, I'm telling you, I'm praying for Deshaun Jackson's success because I'm telling you right now, if Michael Vick and that experiment goes down the drain, it is going to scare a lot of athletic directors from hiring celebrity coaches because, one, Michael Vick is not doing any exposure for you. And then, two, he's not even winning. So, goddamn, what am I paying you $400,000 for? You feel what I'm saying? It has to come with something. We're not seeing any videos from the Vick team. We're not seeing any videos from Michael Vick. I don't care what Vick's excuse is. If you can get your ass on Sundays and talk NFL football for hours upon hours, you can get behind a camera and say, hey, this is what we're doing at Norfolk State. Make sure you come here down to 757, baby. You know my hometown. We in it. We live. You know what it is. Hey, Vick, the Michael Vick experience starts now. Like, if he can't even do a drop for Norfolk State, something's wrong. Something's wrong. And I'm going to tell you this. The AD and the administration need to be on him hard. No Diddy. I'm just saying. I'm going to just leave it at that. He learning my ass. No, there ain't no he learning. No, bro, it's not no he learning. How do you got to learn to put on school merchandise? How you got to learn to put on school merchandise? Oh, he learned it. He learned how to put a Norfolk State shirt on. He got to learn how to do that. He got to learn how to put a hat on. Come on, man. Anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about something else because that segment runs itself. All right. Listen, there's a lot of things. Woo! Listen. It's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. Dog, my phone has been blowing up. Absolutely blowing up. Right? When this picture got around into the SWAT groups and all that stuff, my phone was blowing absolutely up. Now, I knew about this last year. I did. Right? I didn't say anything, but I knew about it last year. I ain't trying to blow up his spot, but now it's just out there, right? And let me say this. It's a bad look. And there's no way around it. It's a bad look. And the reason why it's a bad look, because I know the truth, FAMU person, for the newbies, coach has been an umpire for more than a decade now. He also helps umpire one of our spring softball games. That's not the point. That's cute, but that's not the point. The point is, you were doing that shit as an assistant. When you're a DB assistant and you're a DB coach, if you're not the main guy in charge, that's cool, right? On your little off-season wide receiver coach, or I don't even think it's a good look for coordinators. If you're a defensive coordinator or offensive, I don't even think it's a good look for you in that position. But if you're a linebacker coach, if you're a DB coach, if you're a safeties coach, I ain't got no problems with you doing this. I ain't got no issues with you. But when you're the main guy, you're now the head coach of FAMU. This is a bad look, especially when your ass lost the Valley. So I'm telling you right now, if I'm AD Suggs, I'm taking notes. Because, Ninja, you are on a very tight, you're on very thin ice. Very thin ice, right? To me, you can't, this is just bad perception because it looks like if anything goes wrong with your team, it just says you didn't do enough. This just leaves the door open to say you didn't do enough. It just does. It gives room, as my as my grandmother would say, it gives room for the enemy. Right? It just leaves room for the enemy to say whatever they want. And this is the case, right? Because if anything goes wrong with the FAMU year and your head coach during spring ball was calling balls and strikes, no did he? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? So I'm not a fan of this. I think he should have took a year off. He's not coming off a very good year. You can say whatever you want. That was not a very good year with the talent they had on that team. He let that white man who is now with Willie down at FIU F up his season. Right? So now you're in kind of like, this is like the first real cozy year, right? There's no quarterbacks that Willie Simmons has recruited on this staff. There's no real remnants of Willie Simmons still on this staff, you know what I'm saying, or in the room, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the guys he's let go that were really guys, you know what I'm saying? So this is really Colzie's year. And the schedule that they have has all the makings of getting fired. Has all the makings of getting fired. You got Alcorn at home. I think you got Jackson at home. I think you got Alabama State at home, right? Like, you got some heavy hitters coming to the crib. And I'm telling you right now, there's not a strike or ball, no diddy, that you can call that's going to save you if you lose a home game at Bragg next year. I'm telling you that right now. You would be on the first thing smoking, and you know who's going to be replacing you? Either Quinn Gray, Teddy Bridgewater, or some high-profile name coach is going to be sliding in your spot, no diddy, and you're going to be out of there. Just facts. So to me, it's a bad look. I don't think this is something you do coming off the year that you just had and losing to Valley at that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this at all. But listen, to each his own. You know what I'm saying? Central at home too, right? So, it's going to be a tough one. It is going to be a Hines Ward. Anybody about to slide up in that joker, right? To take over his position and you move forward, because what AD Suggs cannot allow is that FAMU brand to regress from where Willie took it, right? Willie brought it out of the mud, put it on the main stage, got it dusted off, shined up, real nice, looking pretty, people coming in the portal, whatever, taking sacrifices, not getting NIL money, whatever, and winning. And you come in and you lose the Valley at home. Valley at home. That lose, you broke the Bragg. Like, now that shit's just making me mad all over again, but you broke the Bragg streak. You lost the streak at home to Valley in your, yeah. Yeah. Again, you're on a very thin ice. Very thin ice. And again, I don't care when he does it. You need to be focusing on football. I don't care if you did it a week before spring practice. I don't care if you did it every. I don't care if you never umpired on the day of practice. I don't give a damn. You shouldn't be doing it because it's a bad look. It is. It just is. It's no different than if players, supposed to be at spring practice and they on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Or, before a big game, they out and about in the clubs. And it's even though if it doesn't affect them and they've done it before, it's a bad look. and a coach would say, hey, that's a bad look. You're making it look bad on the school. So are you, Colzie. What we not going to do is we're not going to hold players to a standard for perception and then not hold the coach to perception. That's what we not going to do. I believe on accountability all the way around. So if players can't go out and make the institution look bad, and in a perception, doesn't even mean if it really happened, just perception, it is the same. It is the exact same. It's not about doing anything wrong. It's not about doing anything wrong. It's the perception of not doing enough, right? So if you're out, so if players are out and about doing something, even if it's not illegal, it is a bad perception. If the quarterback is out late, let's say he's out late and he's kicking it with family, right? That's a bad perception. If you got a big game tomorrow and you out with family, or if you got practice and you're doing something that you're supposed to be somewhere, that's a bad look. Doesn't matter if it's not a good thing or not. It's a bad look. So again, we're not going to have, perception has to go all the way around with accountability. It doesn't have to be illegal. It doesn't have to be something bad. Perception is just the mere fact of that doesn't look like you're doing enough for football. Especially when you're not that good as a coach, in my personal opinion. Again, if Willie Simmons, let's just keep it a buck. If Willie Simmons was out there being an umpire at FAMU, who would care? Nobody. Why? Because he wins. You get my drift? Would anybody care if TC Taylor was out there calling volleyball matches? No. Because he doesn't win a championship. Bama's wouldn't care. Perception and credibility, right? So it all comes back. It all comes back. So you got to understand who you are to do some of the stuff that you do, right? Do you have the cachet to do some of the things you do, right? Some people have the cachet to do it. Some people don't have the cachet to do it. And then going another step closer is like, what does that make you look like? If it makes you look bad, does it make you look good? You see what I'm saying? So it goes, what I would say is this. For Colzie in the year that he had last year, this is a bad look. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has to look like he cares about football more than his umpiring career. Doesn't matter when it takes place. It just looks bad. Because why are you not in the film room? Why are you not? And who's to say he is or is not? But when you're doing this, you leave room for the enemy. So again, and I'm the enemy. And so are other coaches and other fans and other people feeling the same way. Like, why are you doing this? Point blank, period. Shout out to Wood. Oh, I don't want to say that because I might. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Now, let's get to some other stuff, right? I got another video I want to show you guys. Now, I'm going to say this. With everything going with Omega Sci-Fi, I don't know if I would be throwing up hooks right now. That's just me. That's just me. You know, that's just me. But shout out to South Carolina State. I love the stuff that you drop. Whoever is your video director, A1 job. Check this out.
Fans that hit me one time. I got my boots on the ground. Yeah. I got my boots on the ground. Where the fans at?
Now, again, with everything going on with Omega Sci-Fi, I don't know if I'll be throwing up the hooks. That's just me. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'll probably be like, I'll be like, keep them hooks on the low. You know what I'm saying? Keep them, keep them hooks on the low. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, shout out to South Carolina State, man. Love what y'all doing down there. Love the video director and the energy that they bring in for the stuff. I love it, man. Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Oh, man. As long as they don't get no fans. They wouldn't finna throw no fans. But I like it, man. Absolutely love it. All right, let's move on. Some other stuff. Landon. That last name is just a little too much for me. But Boosie, however you want to pronounce it, right? He's gone. Mr. One and Done has left the building. Now, again, if I'm Alcorn, I'm gonna let G. I think G talked about this. I listen. I don't think they lost anything. That's just me personally. Listen. I don't think they lost anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know G talked about the excitement for the program and everything like that. And nah. Hey, listen, bro. He was good for a one and done. Like, that's it. He do all this, whatever in the SWAC. He gets to the tournament. He fumbled the ball. He dropped the bag every single time. And I kept telling G, I don't know why you getting excited. Y'all just going to be one and done. What they do in the tournament, one and done. Like, that's it. They let I don't get it. I don't get it. So, again, man, shout out to Chicago State. If that's what they want, that's what they say they need. Hey, you know what I'm saying? All kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? So, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Now, Vickers to Auburn, that's dope. I ain't gonna lie. I think that's what success looks like, right? Like, you turn a program around, you're not one and done in the tournament, right? And you build he built a juggernaut of a program. Like, dog, can I say this? Whoever is that South Carolina State women's basketball coach, they need to be fired. The way that they continue to get their ass whooped, they need to be, that Bama he's getting free money. Okay, that's like, well, he is getting free welfare checks at this point, because the way that South Carolina State women's basketball team, that shit is ass. I mean, ass. He needs to be, he or she, him, she, they, whatever pronouns you using, that Bama need to be fired, because they are god awful. I mean, Norfolk State will be beating them like 95-40. I'm like, what? Who? Matter of fact, I gotta pull that Bama up. Who is the South Carolina State women's coach? South Carolina State women's coach. Fired. Jesus Christ. This Bama need to go. I'm gonna bring up his picture right here. This Bama need to get fired. He is horrible. Okay? And when I mean horrible, I mean horrible. Or as Charles Bark, terrible. Just terrible. I can't. I don't know how. Hey, Pugh, Coach Pugh. Hey, bro. You the interim AD. Do something. Do something. Okay? Fire somebody. Do something. You ain't just sitting there because the chair comfy. All right? Do your job. Okay? Fire this Bama and get somebody else in there, because he is ass. Louisville Bible College. He stepped into the role as the acting head coach, leading the team to his highest ever Big Ten finish and first Big Ten. That ain't good enough. That ain't good enough for me. And just for anybody's information, this is a Dancy hire. That Stacy boy, I can't get with a grown man named Stacy. That's just different. All right. A grown man named Stacy. You gotta look at him twice. But yeah, so that's Stacy hire. You know what I'm saying? So don't put this on Miss Campbell. Y'all better not put this on Miss Campbell. And that Bama gave him 5 years. Ass. That listen. Pew. Fire that Bama. Fire that Bama. That Bama is god awful, man. God awful. Jesus Christ, that man's god awful. It's super thin, yard talk. Super thin. Woo, super thin. Bama got 5 years with a resume that got 3 paragraphs. Come on, man. You haven't done anything. Absolutely haven't done anything. So yeah, maybe because he's wearing merchandise. That's about it. All right. Here we go. The Reggie Barlow era begins. Shout out to Tennessee State. They put on an amazing press conference today in a short time frame. It looked good. It looked really good. It had one camera shot. If you haven't had a chance to go check it out, it's on my page. It's on the TSU Athletics page as well. So it was really dope. What this really comes down to is this for me. Once again, I think this is for the time frame that they were in and the constraints that they were put on. This is a solid hire. I mean, if I was giving it a grade, I'll probably give it an A-. And the only reason I give it an A- because I don't think his whole staff will be in until after the UFL season. Because I do believe he's bringing in Shannon Harris and all those guys from the UFL to the staff after the season, after their spring season. So I'll give it an A- as of right now, but I think it's a slam dunk hire. But again, it is going to come down to the staff and who will be on this staff. And I'm excited. I really am. I think I've heard some rumors of some very big names going to be on this staff. Some former NFL guys are going to be on this staff. So so Coach Corner going to have Coach Barlow on tomorrow at 9. So make sure you guys check out that interview. But yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing hire. Listen, it's going to be a tough go. Those first 2 years, they're going to be tough for Tennessee State athletics. But I don't think it's anything different than what Eddie George took on his first 2 years. His first 2 years at Tennessee State were rough. I remember that first year with Hugh Jackson at OC and Jeff Fisher as a consultant and, Jeremy Hickbottom I remember them first years. I went to the Southern Heritage Classic that first year with Eddie George and Deion Sanders and all that type of stuff. So it was tough. But he pulled it out, got that thing going the right direction in year 3 and 4 and end up winning the conference. So I don't think anything, and that was with a first-time guy. Right, first-time head coach, and Reggie has done this. Coach Barlow has done this on multiple occasions in different stops and different landing spots. So I don't think he doesn't know how to get this thing rolling. It would just be navigating the NIL landscape and the transfer portal, right? Just navigating that in a better situation, navigating that in a better light with this new day and age of everything that's coming down the pipe. But I love it. And I hope I wish him nothing but success coming from Tennessee State, man. So I think that's going to be amazing. Shout out to him. Shout out to that whole Tennessee State organization. Now, let me say this. I can't tell y'all exactly, but all I can say is I have a very, very, very big interview coming down the pipeline. And it will be a first on the channel. A first, somebody, a position that I've never interviewed before. So it's going to be very, very, very big. So once I get all the confirmations, it should be either today or tomorrow. I get all the confirmations, I'll have the promotion. So you definitely want to be tuned in and ready to go. Because again, you're not going to want to miss this interview. Very, very big. So I'm excited. Might open up a lane for you, boy, that I ain't never seen before. You know what I'm saying? Step in that thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, check me out, right? So definitely make sure y'all stay locked in. Make sure you got your notification bells on. A lot of you Bama's been slipping, putting your notification bells on. Make sure your notification bells on so you don't miss it. All right? So you don't miss it. Now, I know what y'all came here. I know what you came here for.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them. Maybe, maybe not. You never know. You never know. All right. Let's go. Now, I got some word in the street, right? And let me say this. This was my first, because you know I like to show stuff. This was my first tip, right? Because I don't like to just say something without not having some type of proof, because I don't want y'all to think I'm just making stuff up, right? So the first tip was, I just got word that South Carolina State have been debating this since 2024, 2025 school year, but opted to stay. They might change. It's verified through your sources. Josh might not speak on it though, too prideful, right? This is about NCCU, right? Now let me read you something, because I can't bring up the text, but I can read it to you, right? It says, the NCCU's chancellor has been pushing this, and South Carolina State almost dropped last fall from what I was told, all right? And that they are looking into getting into other conferences. Now, so what the word on the street is this, and again, listen, y'all can happily go over to HBCU Nightly and ask Josh 50 million questions. I'm just giving you the word on the street on my aspect, right? So what I have been told, and it has at first, I don't like to jump out the window when one thing hits but when I start getting multiple questions and multiple conversations about, hey, there's some rumblings, right? Then you got to really run with it as a word on the street. And the word on the street is that NCCU in South Carolina State have been engaging in conversations for other conferences and getting out of the MEAC. Now, again, we all know Howard is the big dog in this play. And if that domino is ever to fall, that everything else is going to crumble, right? But let's not get it twisted. Like if NCCU and South Carolina State both, that also wouldn't make the MEAC crumble and fall. Miss Sanja Steele's Elite Eight. Now, what conversations have? These are the people that I've heard that have contacted NCCU as well as South Carolina State. Now, the SoCon has been in contact with South Carolina State. The CIAA, the SIAC, the CAA have been in touch with both of these schools, right? Now, the SIAC, mostly South Carolina State, of course, but they've been in contact with both of these schools. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. Now, listen. I know everybody's like D2, but remember, NCCU is a D2 move up. It wasn't long ago. It was like, 2007, 2008, maybe 2009, when they moved up. They haven't been D1 for very long, right? So they've been in D2 longer than they've been D1. Okay? They've been D2 longer than they ever been D1. Now, I know everybody got them associated Celebration Bowl champs and all that type of stuff. Now, I don't see them dropping back down. But what I did hear was the chancellor and the chancellor at NCCU is really, really close to the CIAA commissioner and Elizabeth City and all that type of stuff, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're like a former, I think he was like a former thing at Elizabeth City and CIAA, all that type of nonsense or whatever. So, the thing is for me, there's been a lot of conversations with the House settlement, the House settlement, that there has been some shifting of the sands. Now, I don't believe NCCU should go D2. That's just my personal opinion. Josh can give you the whole, history behind NCCU and, the CIAA and what it means to them and everything. I think they're bigger than that. That's just me personally. But hey, what do I know? I think if I was NCCU, I think the CAA is a better move. And the reason I say that is because you do have your rivals in there. It is a perennial, it is a good football powerhouse to get into, right? And you can make something shake in there. I believe they could be competitive day one walking into the CAA. They probably don't have the budget as most of these big schools, but I definitely think, you know, with Trey Oliver's resume, I think they could be a day one, be a fourth or fifth best team in the CAA day one walking into the football conference. I really believe that, right? It just has to make sense. And again, and I think in what Dave and a lot of NCAT people have said, what Dave and a lot of NCAT people have said is that the situation is bigger than just being black. And I think that's what we as people have to.
You are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
I think the conversation has to be, and like, well, again, let me just say this. That a lot of Aggie alums and fans understand it's bigger than just being black, right? Like, it has to make sense. And again, I'm gonna be very clear. If anybody's, I never was against NCAT from moving. I just didn't appreciate people playing both sides of the fence. Like, you can't be like, oh, we had 4 celebrations. It don't matter. You're not there no more. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit that killed me. I didn't care that they moved. Like, if that's your best, if that was in your best benefit, you felt was to move. That's life, right? Like, I'm not going, again, this what it comes down to is, and I always say this, like, you got to start looking at things as your life. Stop looking at athletics in your life differently. And that's the thing that bothers me. Like, you wouldn't kick it with an employee who's a bum, or I would hope that you wouldn't stay with a friend who puts you in a vulnerable situation. Like, you know, y'all two splitting the rent and he never got his rent money. You know what I'm saying? But that's my friend. We black. It's bigger than that. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's the issue that I would have. Like, that's the part of what NCAT talks about, and I respect that, right? It's like, I can't keep paying all the rent knowing you got to pull your weight. You because you're bringing me down now, right? We in a situation, you're bringing me down. So it's like, what are we talking about? It's bigger than just being black. Do your part, right? I'm not going to just stay here because we both black and we doing it together. Nah, that's not what that is about, right? So I'm cool with that. My thing is, just don't play both sides of the fence. Is, oh yeah, you know, if we were over there and it don't matter. You're not there. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Roy and T calling it, well, as long as we beat the blacks. Like, bro, beat the whites. Okay? Beat the whites. Get some egg whites in your life. Okay? As long as we beat the blacks. You're barely doing that. Right? So it's all of that. But I'm gonna say this, right? This is a very very, very interesting play of what is coming down the pipe, because these where there's smoke, there's fire. And what I will say is this: there's something going on. It might not be all the way true. It might not be 100% factual. Again, this is all word on the street, right? But there has to be something if people are continually to dribble information out saying, hey, look at this. Hey, worry about this. Hey, we're talking about that. We might do this, right? And I'm going to say this again. I know Erica doesn't speak for all of Howard, right? Like, you know, she's not the ambassador for Howard, but she does have some, she's speaking for a group of very high group of Howard people, right? Like, she ain't the only one feeling the way that she's feeling, right? So there's a lot of rumblings, and this is my issue with the MEAC, sometimes, and even in the SWAC. You guys are not proactive, you are reactive. So instead of saying, hey, sitting down, what can we do? What do we need to do? Like, it's a lot of, now Bama's want to leave, and now Bama's want to try to figure out something. Oh, well, I don't know why they left. We were just about to sign this deal. I don't know why they left. We were just about to do this. right? It's like when a dude's dating a girl and the girl breaks up with him, he was like, man, I was just about to propose to you. We've been together 6 years. Why you had to wait till I was about to leave you to propose to me? That's how Sanja and the MEAC come off. It's like when people are looking to leave, now they want to say, baby, please, baby, please don't leave. Like, no, like where were you the last 30 years? Where were you the last 30 years? We've been dealing with you and dealing with your mess, and you haven't done anything, right? So again, now I would love to hear what some of the North Carolina A&T people talking about, because they'd be like, see, Scotty, now you see what's going on. But let me say this, right? Again, y'all gonna get mad at me, but I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Like, a lot of y'all Bamas was just happy she was a woman. Like that's the shit that be killing me. Like, it gets to our listen, man. We at some point in time, we as a people gotta get past, oh, we're just happy to be in the position. Oh, we're so happy that she got it. Oh, the first woman. I don't give a damn if it was the first GOAT. All I care about is, can you do the job? But again, it is too many people in this world. Oh my God, we're so happy. Oh, praises be a Black woman in the position. Never happened. And I don't give two shits. I just want to know, can you do the position? Can you do the job? And clearly, you can't. You can't. And I'm not the one that said it. Other people have said it. Point blank, period. So now you're in a situation where you don't trust the commissioner. If you probably switched out commissioners, I don't even know if that saves anything. At this point, the way I've been hearing that the stuff is imminent, like people are looking to make moves quickly or either next year, right? Like, this stuff is imminent. Even if you change the commissioner, does it change some of these schools' minds of how they're going to move or the stability of the conference? Because again, and I'm going to keep saying this, nothing in the MEAC says Black. It's not the Black Eastern Athletic Conference. It's not the BEAC. It's not the BPAC, the Black People Athletic Conference. It's the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Hey, if these white conferences are grabbing Black schools, you need to get off your goddamn high horse and start grabbing some white folk and get some PWIs up in that joker. It's all about survival. And again, this is where true business-minded people understand, right? Again, how do you think white people let us in to PWIs? They got their ass whooped on the football field and said, you know what? Maybe we need to get with some of these Black folks, some of these Negroes on our football team, and maybe we can be good. So what do? We'll let Jamaica in. We'll let Jermaine's in. We'll let Anquisha in. We'll let whomever in. We'll let them in. Because it's survival at that point. And they will set aside racist ideology to survive. Now they'll limit you. Hey, you can't do that far. You can that's a little too much. All right, you're lucky we let you in. Now you're doing too much. Now it's survival. So now they don't mind seeing you on television. They don't mind adding you in here and adding you in there. The CAA don't mind getting Black schools in their conference. Why? Because we need 10 to 11. We want a full conference. We want a certain amount of number of people, and if they want to come, let them come. Don't matter if they got our budgets. Don't matter if they ain't got this. Don't matter if they ain't got that. We need 12 members. We lost 4. We need 12. Go see if they take it. Survival. But what do black people do? What does the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference do? Oh, you know, they just don't really fit our profile. They don't. You would think the white people would be saying that. You would think the CAA would be saying that. When they see black schools trying to get in the CAA, what do you think they would be saying? Oh, they don't really fit our profile. Which is true. They don't got the same budgets as them. They ain't got the same money as them. It's facts. But what do they say? Shit, we don't care. You want to come here and get your ass whooped? Come over here and get your ass whooped. You want to be Hampton, get beat to death? You want to be NK and get beat to death in football? Come over here. Right? And then they compete and everything else, but it's like, hey, yeah, get your head busted in over here. No diddy. Right? So again, you're looking, you got to get a business-minded person to be in that seat to understand, hey, for the survival of the because again, thank you, God. The issue is this. The issue comes down to what legacy will you have if there is no legacy to continue? I'm going to say that again. What legacy will you have if there is no legacy to continue? Because if the MEAC folds, all that you were trying to hold on to goes with it. It becomes a memory. All because you didn't want to invite people that didn't fit your look or fit your style to the conference. But again, you're trying to make the conference solvent. You're trying to get the conference back into good standing to where you can so the legacy continues. So that if it takes another 20 or 30 years for Virginia State to move up to the Mid-Eastern Athletic, to the MEAC, it's still around to do so. If it takes 10 to 15 years for Savannah State to move up to the MEAC, you're still around to do so. But if you're not thinking long-term in sustaining the future of the MEAC, then there won't be a MEAC to go to. That is the issue that is transpiring right now, that you're so locked into it being a black institutions being in the conference. That's number one. And then number two, you're putting, I don't want to say incompetent, because I'll be rude to say that. I would just say not qualified. You're putting non-qualified people as a commissioner who then does not appease to people outside of the conference to want to move into the conference. Because it's like, okay, your institutions don't even want to be there. What entices me to come into your conference when the people in your conference are trying to get out? That doesn't resonate, right? It's different when you have a Delaware looking to make the jump higher. You have another conference looking to move here or move there. But when you have conferences, when you have teams looking to make lateral moves because they don't like what's going on in the MEAC, that has something to do with the conference and the conference leadership. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, one, the presidents and the chancellors, which Dave has said, which Josh has said on HBCU Nightly, which all those guys and Erica and all them, all the public school guys, as Erica said, that was funny. Jesus Christ, that was hilarious. All the public school people, right? Shout out to Claflin. We ain't got them issues, right? All the public school kids, they got to get together and really make a decision on new leadership, right? And where is the listen, okay, stay with me. There needs to be a MEAC town hall. There needs to be a virtual, and this is the issue. When you can't be transparent with people, you're going to lead to failure. And I love transparency. That's why I love that town hall that Hinton did at NCAT. I love stuff like that because it lets you know the lay of the land and what we can and what we cannot do and what we are trying to do, right? You got to get people on board to believe a vision. And David said this on many times on HBCU Nightly. Like, if without vision, the people will perish. That's in the good book, right? Without a vision, people will perish, right? So if there is not a transparency, a town hall for the MEAC conference, Sanja needs to put on a town hall, a virtual town hall for the MEAC to explain to the people where they are at and what they need to do. You are a freaking nonprofit. The Black Lives Matter lady, the new chair of the Black Lives Matter, she is doing nothing but press conferences and press releases. And they got a whole Black Lives Matter transparency thing to show where all the money is, because BLM was known for scamming and all that type of stuff. So she's made it fully transparent with all the money and everything. And that is where the MEAC has to get to. The MEAC has to get to a point to where now their transparency invites people to want to help, or at least lets people know where the MEAC stands, to know what the vision is going forward. But you doing some half-ass 5-year vision plan that didn't have shit in it, didn't have a goddamn thing in it. That is lazy, and that's, you think people are stupid. And this is what they say. Well, they said the real thing to the chancellors and the presidents. Well, what about the fans and people that go to these MEAC events and support the MEAC? What about them? They don't need to know? Just the presidents and the chancellors. That's the only people they need to know. You know what I'm saying? So it's all of that encompassing, right? So at the end of the day, there needs, I love that. Yes, right? There needs to be some type of addressing the people by Sanja. And again, I say this all the time. If you, there's responsibilities getting paid what you get paid. And I hate, and I don't even say that word a lot, but I hate people who want titles and paychecks and don't want the responsibility that comes with it. And Sanja, right here, right now, is looking like she doesn't want the responsibilities that come with it, because you got to stand in the gap and make sure you're relaying the information to the people of what the MEAC is and where it's at and where it's standing at. You need to be more transparent with the situation, so people can either make their decisions accordingly to support the MEAC or not support the MEAC. But at the end of the day, you got to do your part. And your part is not sitting in the back being reactive to all the situation and all the information that's been pushed out there. Come out to the public. Let the people know what is, where it, the Elite Eight is still good, all that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's my little 2 cents. And listen, Zoe was right. The super conference has to be a conversation. The super conference has got to be a situation. And again, I'm gonna say this. This is the stuff you got to bring up in the town hall. Like, if there's an open conversation of what the landscape of college athletics looks for HBCUs, and again, David said this on HBCU Nightly, sending them damn letters to Congress, that shit look cute, but that shit ain't working. It look cute. All right. It looks cute, but the shit ain't working. Oh, we stand together and I don't know. I want to hear that dumb shit. Right. All right. So there needs to be a town hall to have an understanding of what is transpiring in the HBCU landscape and what the new college athletics looks like for HBCUs. And I'm going to say this again. Neither one of the commissioners should be running this super conference. It should not. Listen, you can say what you want. You can feel how you feel. Dr. Charles shouldn't be running it, nor should Sanja be running it. If you do a super conference and you have the conversation about having a super conference, you have to go get a business mind. You know who would be perfect? Honestly, real talk, real talk. I like the interim president at TSU to be over something like this, right? Like he's an interim, so he's not technically the president, right? He's just a standby fixing it. I think he would be a great person to put over the super conference. If not him, then you got to go somebody who's been in sales, who's been in marketing, who's been chief marketing, like a chief marketing officer. You have to be in one of those major high level roles to really push this brand forward. But the conundrum with this thing is this, right? You can go get a person that has been business and sales and not know how to sell the product, or what's the draw, right? You don't understand. It's like when you're trying to sell a brand you don't get, right? Like I couldn't be in charge of Lululemon, right? Because I don't know shit about Lululemon. I don't know who the audience is. I just know it's white women, right? Like I don't know anything about Lululemon. So I couldn't be a brand advisor for Lululemon because I don't understand it, right? I think you got to go get a big name person that understands the landscape of HBCU, that understands the landscape of sports to be in those roles, right? It's not, oh, Jesus. Stay in the CAA. Stay in the CAA, all right? Stay in the CAA. Anyway, the issue is because if, and don't listen to him because it's no point, right? But at the end of the day, I would rather join the SoCon before the swag. The issue is this, right? And I don't think the South Carolina State will rather join this. Let me see who's in the SoCon. Citadel, Furman, Mercer, Sanford, VMI, Wofford. I'll say this. It would definitely cut down on travel, but I'm looking at the landscape of the SoCon, and if in okay, let's just let me share this screen real quick because I want people to see this. Now, if you're talking about South Carolina, and South Carolina's right here with Citadel and all that type of stuff, it is not that far from Alabama. All right, like what is that? Maybe a 4-hour drive, right? And you still, if you brought in NCCU, right? If you brought in NCCU, if you got South Carolina State, and then FAMU is right here, Bethune is down here. I mean, yeah, these are all probably within 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole picture is probably within 2 to 3 hours, probably no more than 3 hours. But getting to Alabama A&M, getting to FAM wouldn't be a problem. Getting to Bethune wouldn't be a problem. You're far, if you was in a pod by yourself, let's say your pod was Norfolk, and freaking Zoe broke all this crap down, but I ain't got it on the top of my head. Let's say your pod was Norfolk, NCCU, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, and FAMU and Bethune. That's not a bad pod. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad pod. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be, to me, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It really wouldn't, if that was the case. You know what I'm saying? So the pod wouldn't really be that bad. And if any time, if Clark Atlanta ever decides to move up, that would be even perfect, right? Because then you'll have something in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So he said that's a boost on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So that would be the, you know what I'm saying, that would be the East Division, or, you know, East Pod, or whatever you want to call it, but it wouldn't be the worst. And then anything Mississippi and over would be the West. You know what I'm saying? Anything Mississippi and over will be the West. So you'll have Jackson, Southern, Texas Southern, you know, Alcorn, Valley, all those guys will be on the west side, and then you have everybody on the east side. You get what I'm saying? So that wouldn't be the worst. That wouldn't be. Who is South Carolina State's rival, though? That's what really matters. FAMU and South Carolina State is a rivalry. Alabama State and FAMU is a rivalry. NCCU and South Carolina State could be the new rivalry. You know what I'm saying? So the only, you know, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, they rivals. It would be a good block of games. It really would. It would be a good block. The only real downer in there would be would probably be Bethune. Bethune would be the worst team in that pod, but everything else would be dope. NCCU is a good team. FAMU, South Carolina State, Alabama A&M. You know what I'm saying? They all got some. So to me, it'll work. It would definitely work. But it just got to make sense. At the end of the day, it just has to make sense. But I really do think that the conversation needs to be had because of the landscape of college athletics is changing. And again, I get the egos, right? That's just life. Egos happen, right? But at the end of the day, the conversation has got to be had. It has got to be had. It just has to be. And somebody has to lead the charge on it. Somebody that has the pull, somebody has the gravitas to make this thing happen, because again, the landscape of college athletics is changing so fast. It's changing so quickly that it'll just leave you behind. And I'll give you a perfect example. Anybody that's in the military is going to understand this, right? When I was in the military back in 2009, that's when I joined the military, right? When I was getting out of the military, like 2015, 2014, 2015, there were still some computers on like Windows XP, right? Like the whole world was like on Windows 10 or Windows 12. I don't know. It was like Windows 8. And a lot of the military stuff was still Windows XP, right? That is what HBCU is. That is how HBCUs have been moving. The world is at a different speed than what you are. And every time you think you've caught up, you're on Windows 8. Everybody else is on Windows 13. You're on Windows 9 and everybody else on Windows 20, right? That's where you're at. You're, make it easier for everybody. You're on iPhone 11. Everybody else on iPhone 16, right? Like that is how the gap just keeps getting wider and wider and wider. And you have to, it was Windows Vista. Oh yeah, it was Windows Vista, right? So you gotta stay up to date, and you've got to keep continuing to update yourself and keep growing. And that's the part where the egos have got to die to grow. That's what I'm saying. You have to have 2 or 3 people that are on the same page, that have the gravitas to say, look, we have got to do something. If it's Howard's president, you got to have some big dogs, right? You got to get Howard's president. You got to get, maybe a Trey Oliver. And like, it doesn't always have to be a president or it has to just be people who have big names. Maybe it's your biggest coaches. Maybe your coaches are the leaders in this. Maybe it's your ADs, the top level ADs, right? Who are leaders in this, right? But at the end of the day, somebody has got to start the conversation of what does the next step look like? Because it's coming down the pipe for the SWAC as well. I don't think ESPN is going to renew their contract or renew it to a point where it's beneficial to where you're getting paid a good amount of money. So now you got to change with the landscape. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that it's not just a MEAC problem. It is an HBCU problem, right? And HBCUs have got to figure out what is the next landscape of athletics for us. And what does that look like going forward? And those are the conversations that need to be had. And listen, again, just word on the street is that these schools have been having conversations about either dropping down, moving to other conferences to better support themselves or to be in a better situation. But listen, call lines are open, 518-263-8124, 518-263-8124. I ain't going to be on here too long. You know what I'm saying? If you'd like to call in, give you a little 2 cents on whatever you feel the landscape is of college athletics. If not, I'm about to get up out of here. Make sure y'all be on the Vic lookout. And also, listen, Monday, May 5th, if you are in Georgia or the surrounding areas, the Tubman Museum Golf Tournament is on and popping. The partnership with Alabama State and the men's, women's golf teams are throwing an event, man. It's going to be big time. Foursomes are $500, individual $150. Listen, you can register at www.tubmangolf.org. That is www.tubmangolf.org. Monday, May 5th at the Crystal Lake Golf and Country Club in Hampton, Georgia. You don't want to miss it. Let me see. Scotty, get the Celebration Bowl commissioner to discuss the topic. He's pretty smart. Who would that be? Is that the what is his name? I think he's like light-skinned and bald-headed. I can't remember his name right now, but I'll see if I can get him on. I'll try to. You know, some people don't like me, so I just gotta keep it. The SWAC is in an active lawsuit. ESPN does not want to overexpose themselves. Yes, John Grant. Great. Now, but listen though, John Grant is an associate of ESPN. So, me personally, all I'm gonna say is this: I don't think that he's going to be in the most open aspect of the possibilities because he still does work for ESPN. You know what I'm saying? But he can probably talk about some of the landscapes and stuff like that. 3537 coming to you. And before I get to this caller, hey, listen, my wife just texted me the Prophetic Summit. If you missed it last, I think we did it in February. The Prophetic Summit coming up in April. I'll get a link for that posted soon. Prophetic Summit was a great time. If you were there, please put in the chat if it blessed your life. But the Prophetic Summit is coming in April. All right, coming in April. We'll be doing some more promotions for that. 3537 coming to you.
Hey, what's going on, Scotty?
What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Byron, man. BW Bay in the chats, man. This whole MEAC deal, this super conference, man, is something that should have happened a long time ago. Why are we sitting here now in the 11th hour when things are starting to fall apart, and now people are finally starting to really talk about this? It's about probably 15, 20 years too late. But it really, really needs to happen. And if it still can't happen, it needs to happen. You will not preserve the brand of HBCU sports or HBCU football if we get watered down and assimilated one by one into all these different conferences. In about 15 years, you won't be talking about the MEAC anymore. And if you really value the brand of HBCU sports, we need to swallow our pride. All these, these little individual kingdoms that we have that everybody wants to protect their own little brand. If we work together, we will rise. If we start getting picked off like we're doing with everybody leaving on their own accord and getting broke off into conferences that we don't want to be in, the brand is going to suffer. That's pretty much all I got to say, man.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you for the call.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is credibility to that, right? Because it's one of those things where your fan base, okay. I think it's something that NCAT is going through right now. And if any Aggies, and I see some Aggies in there, if y'all can correct me, I think Aggies are they're teaching their fans how to support sports and not the event. Hear me what I'm saying. Being in the CAA, you're learning how to support sports and not the event, right? Because white people love sports. They just love the sport of it. It doesn't matter who they're. Yes, there are some games not as important as other games. Absolutely. But they're teaching their fans how to support the sport. Just come out and support the sport. Not who gonna be in attendance, what band showing up. Ain't none of that. Right? And I think when you keep it black, you're always going to have a problem with teaching your fans how to support sports and not support the event. Because what you're doing is this. When you're and again, I've always said this, if you want to Wakanda it, I'm cool. Wakanda it. That's what's up, right? But understand there's always going to be limitations to being Wakanda. Because anytime you step out of Wakanda, people are going to be like, I don't like that. You bald-headed demon. Okay? Like, I do not approve of that. Okay? They're not going to like it. But when you teach your fans how to just like the sport and the support of the sport, then it doesn't matter who you play. They show up and they show out. All right, Rocky, coming to you.
What's up, my brother?
What's going on?
I wanna run something by you, man. I've been thinking, and that's always a little dangerous over here.
Facts.
Right? But I've been thinking, man, with all the stuff with not Kendrick Lamar, but Big U being arrested for extortion and all that kind of stuff, and all the other things that are going on amongst black people, I'll say. And like this, let me see this. Are you familiar with check-in culture about how when a famous black person goes to a big city, much like Uncle Luke wants Willie Simmons to check in?
Oh, yeah, the LA culture. Yeah, the LA check-in culture.
Yeah. But that's what I don't understand. Do you think Pearl Jam has to check in when they go to LA?
You said who?
Or Pearl Jam, or the Who, or the Beatles?
No.
Or Nirvana, or Matthew McConaughey, or
No.
Robert Downey Jr.
No.
Or any of those people have check in? They just making black people check in, ain't they?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make us racist? Does that make the Crips a racist organization? Because they're requiring black people to do things that otherwise other people wouldn't do?
I don't think it's racist per se. I think it's a bad mindset, right? Like it's when you walk up to a black person, you like, you know what it is. Like, what I'm saying? You wouldn't walk up to a white person and say, you know what it is, because they don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? They, what are you talking about? Know what it is. I don't know what is. Like, it's a mindset that black people have that whites don't understand. Good, bad, or indifferent, it is what it is.
Well, here's another thing I get, and then I'm gonna make it full circle. We had the situation where Willie Simmons is being required to check in with Uncle Luke for some strange reason. I don't know why a guy, educated, professional man who's been coaching for 25 years would have to check in with a rapper as a head coach of a Division I university. I don't understand that at all. But here's why I'm gonna bring it full circle. Is that, do you think Mike Vick is doing what he's doing, not wearing paraphernalia, not representing the university, not really speaking about the opportunity that's been given to him? Do you think he's doing that because Norfolk is a black school?
I think there are certain things that the school has done that has rubbed him the wrong way. I do believe that. But I also do believe he would not have done Virginia Tech the same way. You cannot tell me that he would do Virginia Tech the same way. You just can't tell me that. I don't care what nobody says.
You know, and even when we talk other things in HBCU landscape, how the people who want to go to these events, and I'll get for context, I went to the Prairie View homecoming this past year. A delightful, wonderful, amazing event filled with people, lots of people, and people everywhere. But when it was time for kickoff, nobody went to the game. They stayed in the parking lot and continued to barbecue and drink liquor and listen to music, whatever. And they didn't go to the game. Do you think that would be the case if it was at a white school? Would they refuse to go inside the game and just tailgate and let the stands be empty and the tailgate be full?
Again, I think that is a mindset change that has to happen in HBCU athletics, right? Because again, I don't believe the band is the game. That will never resonate with me. Never. And I will say that to any band member's face. You're not the game. You never are. You never will be, right? Because if you were, you would be more popular on the PWI ranks. It's like you're the shit you're the big deal in the chitlin circuit, but when you play real football matters. So it's always going to tell me that the football is the main event, because no PWI is talking about, man, my band is killing y'all, man. No, they don't care, right? Football is all, and the same people that will brag in your face and tell you the band is the shit, they be rooting for Florida football or Alabama football or Auburn football. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, you ain't rooting for Auburn band. You ain't rooting for Alabama's band. You ain't rooting for Ohio State's band, and they dot the I or whatever they do, right? So miss me with all that. It's just it is a horrible mindset. And it's nothing wrong with loving what your culture does, right? It's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, we got better bands. Absolutely. Black people always have more rhythm. That's just facts. Okay. That's why everybody stole from Chuck Berry. They stole from Nina Simone. They stole from, Elvis stole from black artists. Like, they always steal what is ours because we're better at it than them. That's why they invite us to all the events, because we're better at it than you. But again, they know how to monetize it better than us. So at the end of the day, it's a mindset that we as black people have to get out. It is not about the event. It is about supporting the sport, supporting the institution. That's why when these big games happen and you see the whole school come out for an event, right? Like I get it. People say, Scotty, well, these schools got 6,000 or 7,000, students. Well, how many alums do they have? I know they got enough to fill up a stadium, right? So it's like, can we get them full? Why is it only the PV homecoming that's getting packed out? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. And then the last thing I want to mention is, I've mentioned this on your show before. There's a gentleman, he's deceased now. His name is Harvey Updike Jr. He was a very staunch Alabama Crimson Tide fan. I mean, he was the biggest Alabama Crimson Tide fan, and he almost devoted his life to being a Roll Tide fan. And not one time did anyone ever challenge his loyalty to Alabama by asking him what year did he graduate, or when he attended the school, or try to invalidate his loyalty because he didn't attend Alabama. He got to be a Roll Tide fan from the sidewalk and be treated just as valuable as someone who has a degree or attended the school. Why isn't that part of the HBCU experience like at a white school?
Okay, so what I take from that is this, right? Because What I hear from alums is this: they don't like the criticism of what they do, right? So this it's like one of those things where if you walk into your grandmother's house and be like, "Damn, Granny, why you got all this old ass wallpaper on the wall?" You know what I'm saying? She gonna feel some type of way because it's hers. She paid for it. It's hers. She done decorated. She done, I didn't. Me and your grandfather didn't put up that wallpaper, and that's how they feel about their institution. So when they allow sidewalk fans in, and sidewalk fans have an opinion, they feel like your grandmama would if you came into her house and said, "Why you got this old ass wallpaper up on the wall?" Right? She gonna feel offended. And instead of just taking it as, hey, this is what it is, or this is what it, hey, that's what happens when, new people come into your home. They don't understand. And they have to figure out what that looks like. Right. So it's a lot, man. It's a lot of
I think there's a distort. My grandmother welcomes me and my friends in our house, and that's fine, right? She doesn't charge admission, and that's what makes things a little different. When you charge a person admission, just by virtue of purchasing the ticket, they have a right to be there. And if they were not,
hey, that wasn't on me. His call dropped. So 8572 coming to you.
Hey, what's going on, Scotty?
What's up, man? Talk to me.
Not much. Hey, man, I get Rocky, but remember, man, when you start talking about places like Alabama, places like Michigan, people who got money like that, they look at it a little bit different than HBCUs. HBCUs take your pride because ain't nobody just trying to just go to their school like that. So, I mean, I get it. That thing about Luke, though, remember who his wife is, man. His wife is one of the biggest sports agents in college football, man. His wife is one of the biggest agents in professional football. So, he made you want to be a courtesy. So you do realize he had one of the biggest little league programs in South Florida.
Oh, you talking about Luke?
So,
yeah, Luke, right?
Yeah. So that's why I say I get it. Why you gotta check in with him. But also remember, man, that Dade County and all that, man, that football different down there. That little league is different down there. So, I know Rocky a Texas guy, but that Florida stuff, man, they be on some different stuff. But I do get what y'all say about HBCU, but I can never compare that to the University of Michigan. When you got people like when you got the alumni base that they got and the kind of money they could put behind it, come on, they just paid the guy $5 million to play quarterback at their school.
But it's not.
I don't think Alabama A&M can do that.
It's not. See, this is my issue. It's not about the funding. It's about the mentality. You can be 8,000, but that 8,000 be strong, right? Like you can be 15, you can be 10,000, and that 10,000 be a strong 10,000. Nobody's saying that you need to be Michigan and need to be Alabama, but you need to have the mindset of a Michigan and Alabama to love the sport. It doesn't always have to be about the finances, right? And again, you gotta be able to be open enough to allow casual fans to come in with opinions, because that's sports. That is just sports, right? Like if I take my wife to a Sweet 16 game, right? And she's never watched Michigan State play basketball, and she says, why are they always in zone? Why don't they play this, or why don't they? That's opinion. That's her opinion, right? Or if she goes to a Michigan State game or let's say I take her to an Ohio University game, not Ohio State, but Ohio University, and she's like, this gym is so small, they can't do nothing. That is her opinion. And that is where HBCU alums and PWI people see it differently, right? Like they'll take the criticism and they'll give it back to you, but HBCU alums, they take it personally and they don't want you to be a part of it anymore.
Yeah, I get it, man, Scotty. Even your situation what you was dealing during the season, how they was getting mad with you. I can say, man, some people just they want it a certain way, man. I mean, good and indifferent, you know what I'm saying? Like I get it. We kind of come from the space of watching PWIs play football. Like I said, I really wasn't real big on black college football. Like I said, I saw your show one day. Deion came into the sport, so I looked at it a little bit more. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you ain't talking about Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, I pretty much really wasn't rocking with it like that.
Yeah.
I'm down, and people can feel any kind of way they want to feel. But I live in Michigan. I mean, the closest HBCU next to me is, if I'm not mistaken, is Central
State.
Wilberforce.
Yeah, and Wilberforce. Yep.
You know, I'm being honest, I ain't going to Ohio like that. So, I mean, I get what the fans say, but if y'all want people to love your sport, you got to value more, man. Man, be honest with you, if it wasn't for some of the games, like you hyping it up, doing those pre-game shows, Rocky interviewing some of these coaches, I probably wouldn't know half of these guys at HBCU.
That's fair.
But since y'all can put a light on it, man, I kind of respect it, man. Like I listen to other people, but to be honest with you, I like your perspective. I like yours, Scotty. I like how Coach Cole and Rocky got their team with Mr. Campbell. I like that because it kind of gives me more interested. Like I'm really looking to see what the SWAC look like next year with all these new coaches. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that SWAC gonna be a little bit different than that MEAC, to be honest with you.
I agree.
I just think the coaches that they brought into that conference is gonna really change. But before I get, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. My man today at Tennessee State, I think that was a good hire, man. He understands the landscape. I gotta play at Alabama State. I think he's gonna be able to ride that ship. The only thing I'm concerned about Tennessee State is that funding, man. They're having so much of a hard problem with the state and funding that university. I don't know what it's gonna look like, man. What's your take as I get off the line?
Man, listen, I don't know what it's gonna look like either, man. Listen, we all trying to see where the funds gonna come from, for real. So it's like one of them things, like, you know, you gonna make payroll, you know what I'm saying? So you're like,
people got mad.
Go ahead.
Before I get off, Scotty, people kind of got mad at Eddie George saying he's looking for a job, man. But I'm gonna be honest with you. You do realize they fired their band director at Tennessee State. He's talking about a guy that won a Grammy a few years ago. They are one of the best bands, and they fired that guy. So I'm just trying to figure out what it's gonna look like at Tennessee State. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, we all on that sit and see. We all on that sit, wait, and see aspect of it. But man, I appreciate the call, Brody. Listen, and I'm gonna come to 3762. I see you. Give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna say this real quick. Listen, guys, I want you and listen, and Zoe has brought this up, Mr. Campbell has brought this up numerous of times. You gotta look at HBCUs like G5s, right? If I asked you to name the starting quarterback at Kennesaw State, you wouldn't know. If I asked you to name the starting quarterback at Toledo, half of you wouldn't know. If I asked you to name the starting quarterback at Ohio University or Akron or, you know, Kent State, y'all Bamas wouldn't know. So it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of programs that do not get the same attention that the Ohio States and the Michigan. That's life, right? Like, the big dogs are the big dogs for a reason, right? So, but again, you still have to allow sidewalk fans. Like, let's say, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. If I got on here tomorrow and I did everything FIU, right? Because, you know, I'm rocking with Willie and down at FIU, right? I do everything FIU. There are going to be some FIU fans that ain't going to like my opinion, but they're going to be like, damn, Scotty, like, we appreciate you because don't nobody talk about FIU. You see what I'm saying? Like, there will be an appreciation regardless of my criticism, because PWIs understand criticism comes with sports. They live in that world, right? Those white boys, and they be talking stats and all that. They live in that world of banter and sports talk and all that. They understand it very well. So, yes, are there some crazy white folks that come up and call me the N-word and all that? Absolutely. And then there's some side of white folks that be like, well, you know, he is making a point, right? But they wouldn't tell me to never come back to the school. They ain't going to tell me not to buy the merch. They ain't going to tell me, like, did you go to San Diego State? Did you go to Kennesaw State? Did you go to Ohio University? They ain't going to say none of that. Well, if you didn't go to Ohio University, you can't talk about, and you ain't going to hear none of that. And that's the dumb stuff that you get from HBCUs. 3762 coming to you. Then Rocky, I see you.
What's up, Scotty? keep. I do the things up with everything. But I love your perspective, and I think one of the things that we're missing is, as HBCUs, we're missing that idea of kind of coming together as a collective. Like when we're talking about the bigger schools and the Florida States and the Miamis, and I'm here in Florida, so I get to see those schools. You get to see that Florida and Florida State legitimately hate each other as a fan base. But you see the rest of the schools that don't hate each other as much are coming together to pool their resources. When you're looking at the Big Ten doesn't make geographical sense, but it makes money sense because you're seeing how it's connecting the entire country, and they're looking to acquire schools in areas they don't have, like Clemson, Florida State, Virginia, UNC, whereas the SEC is more clandestine. They keep it in the South, but they also have the majority of the state schools that get that big backing, that big money. And what we're not looking at in the HBCU space, and as you mentioned, when you put these schools into different pods, one, you allow things to kind of stay local, you preserve those rivalries, but you also allow those schools to kind of somewhat continue to collect their resources and pool their resources, but also use that familiarity and that one thing the HBCUs have over everything, bands. And we discount the fact that Negroes will travel just to see the band. How much money is spent when people go to these classics just to see the band? I can tell you what a classic looked like when FAMU was there, and I can tell you what it looked like when FAMU wasn't allowed to go there. And our attendance dropped. Whereas any other time, the band by themselves for a major classic, that's a good 25, 30,000. So I think when we're starting to look at this and we're looking to see that HBCUs are becoming the new minor leagues, and really anything less than the SEC and the Big Ten is probably truly a minor league school, that we have to start thinking that if we do not try to have that approach and try to be at least the elite levels, that we're going to get washed out and get left behind. So appreciate you as always, Scotty, so yeah, man.
Oh man, appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much for your insight. Appreciate that. And listen, I agree with him. Look, I will listen. Let me be very clear. I will say this, and I will say this staunchly. The band is not the steak, but they are the potatoes. They are the asparagus. They are the lobster mac and cheese of the meal, right? Like, I get it. And they bring the women and the men who are not sports fanatics, but they love music. They love the band. They love the pageantry of it all, right? And I get that. That they bring an extra 5,000 or 10,000 fans to a game or whatever. I get all of that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to keep saying, if your institution does not care about the sport, which garners the money, I'm going to say that again. If your institution and your alums and your fans, they have to learn how to support the sport, not just the event and the pageantry. That is where the disconnect will always be. And that is why you will have to Wakanda to survive. Because if your fan base cannot learn how to navigate the landscape of athletics without other HBCUs, then you will fail. You will fail. Right? Like, again, I think NCCU and NCAT and South Carolina State, I think those programs have a great foundation of people who just love football. So if they go into a white conference, will they take a hit? Yes. They'll take some type of hit because, again, they want to see you play some black schools, right? Because they want to have a party. But they still love the sport enough to make it happen. I think FAMU is another program that can make that transition. Jackson and Southern, I don't know. Southern, I think maybe because LSU and all that type of stuff, so they kind of get it, right? They kind of get it. But Jackson and Alcorn and Texas Southern, and I don't think they can last without other black institutions, if I'm being honest, right? Just Prairie View, I don't think they last. Because if you talk about Prairie View, they fans only come when they play black schools. They only come at homecoming. Right? So if you talk about playing white institutions all the time, that ain't going to help nobody's attendance. So again, it is about teaching your fan base and the students support the sport and not the event. Rocky, coming to you.
Scotty, I appreciate your food analogy, but I'm the expert on food here, Scotty. And this is what I want to say. You can have the best mashed potatoes, the best asparagus, but if you are serving Spam and cube steak, nobody's going to your restaurant.
That's fair.
Period. If you got cube steak, Spam, and what's that press patty chicken? I don't even know what, but you know what I'm talking about. That's made of chicken parts and it's a fake chicken patty. If that's what you serving as an entree, you're not gonna grow as a restaurant. And I think that's what a lot of times HBCUs are settling for is, of course, the band is an amazing side, but they need to focus on the entree. They need to focus on the game and everything that supports the game. That's what they need to focus on, because that's what. Watch this, Scotty. There is no Division I program that has built $100 budget, $100 million budget based on the band. None of it. It's the sports that drive the revenue for those Division I colleges. And that's what I think HBCUs need to do, is invest in the sports. The sports. Because that creates the sports, that gets the sports fan interested. And the money is in the sports fan. Period, point blank. That's what the money is. And you have to find a mechanism, or you have to find it in your heart somehow, to welcome those sidewalk fans, those casual fans, those fans that want to commune with Black people, that want to be around the culture, that want to celebrate with you guys, but may not have a direct school affiliation, but just want to be in the space and choose a team that they support. Because I think that brings tremendous value to the overall experience of HBCU sports. That casual fan that walks up and puts on the Jackson State jersey and is part of the experience just because he either historically likes the team or a player or the coach. He should be able to come in and enjoy it for as long as he wants to, and not be marginalized or minimized because he didn't attend a college or university. That's all I gotta say, brother. Hey, another great show. Hey, tomorrow we're gonna have Colzie and Reggie Barlow on. HBCU coach.
Y'all better be. I hope y'all don't. Hey, listen, y'all better be asking some hard ass questions. Don't be on there trying to be a fluff piece. Ask that Bama why he umpiring. Yeah, don't be doing no fluff pieces.
Hey, you're welcome to join us anytime you want to, Scotty.
He probably won't show up if I come on. So I'm gonna leave it to y'all.
All right, Bird.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're gonna have Colzie and Reggie Barlow. I'm really interested in looking forward to having a conversation with Reggie Barlow, because I think he has a very interesting resume, and and I think this opportunity probably was long overdue, if you ask me.
Absolutely, man. I'll be tuning in tomorrow.
All right, bro.
All right, buddy.
Later.
Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Colzie and Reggie Barlow will be on the Coach's Corner here on Offscript Network. A&T Roar, I'm coming to you in a little bit. Let me say this. I disagree with, of course, I'm not I disagree, right? And this is why I disagree. Because I disagree. I don't think they would show up as people think they would, because there's no bragging. Like, Jackson people, yeah, they show up. Like, okay, let me be very clear. Can they put 15,000 in a game? Absolutely. But I don't think they would sell out every game, which they should, right? Like, you're supposed to be this big fan base, you're supposed to have all this. If they played nothing but white schools, they would not have the average attendance that they think they would. I disagree. If they played nothing but white schools, they had one black school, like let's say they play Alcorn every year for homecoming or whatever, That would probably be the biggest game, but that's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. But see, this is my thing, though. What does that look like in that stadium? See, 15K in a 20-seat stadium, that's amazing. 15K in a 60,000-seat stadium, that's like a Ja Rule concert. Don't nobody want to see that. You see what I'm saying? That's my issue. You get what I'm saying? That is my issue with the whole premise. I don't think it would aesthetically look like a Jackson State game. I don't believe it. If they play nothing but white schools, I do not believe Jackson State would look like Jackson State. It wouldn't be no 30,000, 40,000 in attendance. It would not be that. It would not be that, because there's just a level of banter they can have with the black schools that they just wouldn't have with the white schools. And I think that would hinder their attendance. I still think, they'll do 10,000, 12,000, whatever, but it would be nothing like what they experience now with HBCUs. And T-Roy, coming to you.
Hello?
Yeah, you live. I said you live.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Hey, man, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. Just waiting for this 2-win season. That's all.
Hey, man, listen. I need for you to stop saying that our greatest dynasty ever from 2014 to 2019 does
matter.
Not count.
Doesn't
you
matter.
Stop it, man.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not even in the conference anymore, man. God, no.
It don't matter. It don't. Listen, nobody's going to. Okay, I get we're not in the conference. I get it was now 10 years ago that we started doing it. But it still matters. It's the greatest dynasty ever. Okay, so let's go to something else. The attendance for white schools is not the same as especially the black school rivalry games. Now you might get some attendance for the non-rivalry games about the same, like, I don't know, Mississippi Valley at Jackson State, right? Jackson State don't nearly get as many people as they get for, say, Alcorn or Southern as they would for Mississippi Valley. Same thing with A&T or in the MEAC. Central don't get nearly as many for Delaware State as they would get for even South Carolina State. So attendance for white schools will go down. Now, if you're winning, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, absolutely. People love winners. So, but it's still not gonna feel the same. You know what I'm saying? Like it will not feel the same. Even if you're beating a white school, like you'll brag about it, but you can't jump into you won't be able to jump into a SWAT group and brag. It just won't feel the same for a lot of HBCU fans. But listen, if you're winning and you dominating, hey, it definitely helps. Definitely helps.
Yeah, and I agree. It does not feel the same. It does not feel the same. Hey, now let me also talk about this band thing. I guarantee you, if somebody said we're gonna have an 11-game or 11-day band season on Saturdays at 1 o'clock, you wouldn't get nearly the attendance that you get for football. We love our bands, we love that part of the whole deal, but man, I'm serious. We love our bands, we love that part of the whole deal, but it just won't happen like that.
I like
so,
that.
Yeah.
I like that. I would. You got that one. I like that. That's a great analogy. I like that. I damn sure wouldn't show up. I damn sure wouldn't show up. So.
Right. I might go to 2, but after that, nah. All right, man. That's it. Hey man, stop saying that. Listen, we got the greatest dynasty ever.
You're not even in the conference anymore, man. Let it go. Let it go, man. Let it go.
No, we need for you to let it go.
No,
man.
no, you.
We need for you to let it go.
I've been letting it go. I don't know why you're still bringing it up. Y'all the ones that, you talking about 4 times. I'm like, bro, what? What are we still talking about this? You with the white people.
I'm talking about you saying it don't matter. Let that go, man. It does matter.
It doesn't.
I guarantee. Okay, let's do it this way. I guarantee you, all the black schools, everybody in the MEAC and the SWAC, they shooting to do better than what we've done, to be undefeated, to win 3 in a row, all that stuff. So they can start talking trash, but they ain't gonna make it. They ain't gonna get there.
No, what they're waiting for is you to go undefeated in your conference and actually show up to your conference championship. That's what they're really waiting for. Since you Bama's are so great, why can't you win a conference championship in the CAA? In football,
hey man, we still getting our weight up. We still getting our weight up. We still getting our weight up, baby. It's coming though. It's coming. Don't be mad. Now tell them don't be mad when it happens.
Nobody's mad over here. I'm just waiting for the 2-win season. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for you to pay. I mean, that's all I wait for.
Yeah, there's a few folks. They like, well, why are you talking? Why are y'all talking to us? You're not with us anymore. But they know they want us to take care of business over there for the culture. All right, man. I gotta go, man. I got business to take care of. We'll get up. Peace.
All right, peace. Listen, no. At the end of the day, man. At the end of the day, listen. NCAT's failure is my pleasure. Hey, listen. You see Friday? He's like, that's my pleasure. I get a dog and bang, bang, bang all day. Listen, okay? Listen, NCAT's failure in football is my pleasure. You know what I'm saying? You get a Aggie and you see him with a white first and just bang, bang, bang just all day. Oh man, I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see them with 2 wins and they be like, man, Gibbs, A&T Roy calling. Gibbs, he just needs another year. Gibbs, he just needs another recruiting cycle. Gibbs, he just need a better coach. Gibbs, he just need. I mean, even though we give him the biggest coaching assistant pool ever, he just need. That's all I'm waiting for. That is all I am waiting for is the excuses to run rampant for NCAT. Oh, see, we just need. Oh, we just need. Listen, again, I don't have, okay. When people talk about the Battle of the Bands, that is a 1-day event? Maybe 2-day event? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's great. That's like putting on like a Thanksgiving classic. Oh yeah, 1 day. It's literally a 1-day event that people come out and support. All right, cool. But again, if you had to do that every single week, yeah, I don't think that's going down like that. I agree with A&T Roy. I don't think it's going down like the way y'all like 11-week season. And you got to go watch the bands and what this band versus this band at 2. Yeah, I don't think you're packing out like y'all think y'all are. But hey, to each his own. To each his own. So it is what it is, man. I'm about to get up out of here. Let me see what I got. I got anything tomorrow? I probably don't have anything tomorrow unless some news comes down the pipeline. I'll let you Bamas know. But listen, if you missed it, I got a new segment. All right. I just want to kind of break y'all into this because some of y'all came in late to the show. You can go back and watch it, but I'm gonna I got a new segment. It's called Vic Still on That Shit. Now listen, got me a whole theme song as well. So let me hip you out to it, right? So here you go. Vic Still on That Shit, right? So that is my new segment. Anytime you see Vic without Norfolk State gear, it is what? Vic Still on That Shit. And again, this is the example that was posted literally today on the Atlanta Falcons Instagram. I dare you Bamas right now, right here, right now. Go to Atlanta Falcons, go to their Instagram, and the first post you see is this Bama smiling ear to ear with no Norfolk State gear at all. Again, my last time before I get up out of here. still on that shit. Listen, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.